First and foremost, I just wanted to tell you guys that everyone in this life has some sort of problem. Everyone in this life is going through an issue that, we don't want to talk about or we don't want to explain. And we're battling it with our heads, we're battling it with our mind. We have some sort of issue that we're going through that we can't just tell anybody or we can't tell anyone at all. So I wanted to tell you guys this because I don't want you guys to feel alone with whatever issue that you're going through. You know, maybe somebody will relate to you, but just know that somebody is going through a similar situation that you're going through. So don't feel alone when you're going through this process on your own. But this video, I wanted to tell you guys of what you guys will go through before your breakthrough will come. And, you know, it's going to be like, it's going to feel like you're changing as a person. The first time is you're going to feel more mature, like right away, like right off the snap of a finger. And I've been through this before, so this is off my personal experience. I'm kind of like going through a similar thing right now, but before I had my breakthrough, I just instantly felt more mature. I felt at like a sense of peace because when I was going through my problem, there was so much stress I was going through. Like, man, how will this work out? Or how can I go through this? Or what's going to happen to me? Or like, it was like my biggest fear at the time when I was going through what I was going through. And once the issue just like got resolved, or once the issue was just out of my life, I felt a sense of like maturity, and I felt a sense of peace like instantly. And you know, shortly after that, like my life just kept getting better and better and better. So the first thing you'll feel is like some sort of maturity and a sense of peace. That was like my first point of my breakthrough coming through. The second thing is you will want to be like more active in your life. You will want to just like get more things done. Or like back then I used to be like super lazy. I used to be like, I used to procrastinate a lot. I used to do things that, I would like drift away from my issues. I would just, if I had any sort of problem, I would just try to distract myself from it. But like after, after things that happened in my life, after I was, coming up on my breakthrough, I would just like became active. Like any issue I had, I would solve it right away. Anything I wanted to do, I'll solve it right away. Or, I felt like a completely different person, like, at this time. And, I had a mental shift in my mind. So technically I was a different person. Like I didn't think the same. I wasn't doing the same things. I was just on go, like 24/7. I was on go, like, oh, I need to get this done. I'm gonna get this done, or I need to do this, because all I cared about was just elevating my life after old issues in my past was just gone. Like all that stuff didn't mean anything anymore. So once I didn't have that stress, once I didn't have like, those worries anymore, like I said, you're gonna feel a sense of peace. So I just, I was on go 24/7. I was just always active. The third thing that will happen is you will start to like meet people, or certain like actions or manifestations will happen in your life, right? So when I was trying to, come up in my life, like let's say I wanted to, like when I was trying to find a new job, or when I was just trying to, meet new friends, whatever, it felt like certain things was just placing in my life at the right times. Like when I was trying to find a new job, I was getting, offers after, reaching out to people. Or when I was trying to meet new friends, I was just meeting new people after doing things I wanted to do, like, playing basketball, going to the gym, stuff like that. So it just felt like, people and things were just coming in my life at the right time, like at the moment I needed it. I met certain people at the time that I needed at that time, you know what I'm saying? Like I met certain people who changed my life at the time. And, I say this in all my videos. So people are temporary. People come into your life when you need them most. People will be in your life when, they need to teach you something, or when you need to realize something, or just certain things. People are a gateway to like, things in your life. So certain people, they came into my life when I needed them, when I, needed to learn something, when I needed to get to this spot, or when I needed to, figure out how to get to a new mental shift or something. Like it was like a realization. So things just started placing in my life. Certain things just started happening, and my life just started changing slowly and slowly and slowly. The next thing that will happen, in your breakthrough, I think this is number four. You're gonna start taking care of yourself more. So back then, like, I was extremely overweight. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know how, I didn't know how I was gonna get out of the certain phase I was in or the certain situation I was in. And one day I looked into the mirror at myself and I was like, yo, am I gonna be like this forever, or am I gonna, step it up, or am I gonna change? And at that moment, it just seemed like everything changed for me. So I started taking care of myself more. I started, losing weight. I started going to the gym. I started being more active. I started, drinking water, like all the basic stuff. I started doing the things I needed to do to feel good about myself and to feel, like I was worth something, you know what I'm saying? Because when you're at a depressing spot in your life, that's when we tend to feel worthless. That's when we tend to feel like if our life matters, and you know what I'm talking about. Like we start to feel like nobody cares about us, stuff like that. So when you feel like that, that's when you need to like take care of yourself. That's like the biggest hint that you need to start taking care of yourself, because when you feel alone, when you feel like you have nobody around you, when you feel like, oh, I don't know who I could trust, that's when you have to build that relationship with yourself. That's when like it really matters. So you know, that's going to be another step of your breakthrough. You're going to really start taking care of yourself. You're really going to start caring about your appearance or how you feel about the inside of yourself. Or, you're going to start building your confidence. You're going to start, just being nicer to people. It's just a lot of things change when you go through your breakthrough. A lot of things start to change, man. A lot of things start to change. Number five, you will outgrow a lot of people in your life, man. You will outgrow a lot of stuff that you used to do. So I'm not saying this is gonna work for everybody, but for me, back then for me it was just smoking and drinking alcohol at the time, right? I outgrew a lot of people that I used to party with, or a lot of people I used to talk to, just because they weren't on the same thing I was on. They wasn't trying to improve their life. They was just worried about partying or chasing females or just certain things. I just started to outgrow a lot of stuff because in my mind, I was just, I was on to the next. I was on to how can I improve. That's all I cared about, self improvement. All I cared about was how can I upgrade my life, or why do you like? It was just certain questions in my head. Like when I would talk to these people, I'd be like, why is chasing girls the only thing you care about, or why is smoking and drinking the only thing you care about, or why is this the way you deal with your problems? Even though I was doing the same thing back then, but what I learned as a person, evolving is the main thing you have to worry about in this life, bro. If you're not evolving, then you're doing something wrong. If you're not changing into a new person, then you're literally doing something wrong, because we grow every day, we get older every day. So if you don't come to like a realization in your life, maybe you don't care, or maybe maybe it's not your time yet, but what you guys need to focus on is evolving. You don't want to be that same person you were a year ago, or you don't want to be that same person you were 2 weeks ago. You want to, you want to change something about yourself, and a lot of these changes for certain people, it's going to be either good or bad. But it really depends, like who you hang around. It really depends on who you look up to, or it just depends on your goals and motivations too. So what you guys want to focus on is evolving. So I outgrew a lot of people I used to talk to, and those people that I outgrew, I don't even talk to them now, because I don't do the same things that they was doing. So we just stopped talking eventually. So you will outgrow a lot of people in your life when you're going through your breakthrough. And it's just, I at first it kind of hurts, but then again, like you're just like, yo, like it is what it is. Like I have to go up in my life. I have to upgrade in my life. So don't worry too much about losing those certain people, because you know people will come into your life. Like people will come and go out of your life all the time. You're gonna meet people who you're gonna need at certain points in your life, but then once you're out of that certain point in your life, they're just gonna disappear. It's just you know they're not gonna be in your life anymore. So you got to come to that realization that some people just come to your life for certain reasons, and that's how I live my life now, man. There's been a lot of people who come and go out of my life. Obviously, it's gonna happen, but when that happens, like once they leave, I always look back at the situation and what I learned and what I was going through back then and where I am now. So once you come to a realization of, oh, this person was in my life for this reason, or I needed this person for this reason, and you come, to a peace with that situation or with that person, you're gonna be grateful for what they did for you at that time, or you're gonna be grateful for, how they came into your life, and things of that matter. So, you'll start to outgrow people in your life, and the last thing, it's not really the last thing, but for this video, you'll be at a peace and you'll be more happy. So once you do all the, last steps, once you start taking care of yourself, once you start to get rid of people that you don't need in your life, once things start happening in your life, you will start to feel a peace and a sort of joy, like within yourself, because you'll look back at where you were, like when you didn't think certain things could happen in your life, when you didn't think you didn't know where you would go, or when you didn't know how your life would turn out. And then you look at where you are now and how, like, what type of person you are now, you'll be at like a peace, you'll be at like a certain joy, because you'll feel like, man, if this bad situation happened in my life, I wouldn't even be where I am right now. So you'll be at like a peace and you'll be at like at a joy. And that's like the best part of, the whole breakthroughs, where you were at and where you are now. So when you're going through, the depressing stage in your life, just know that if you really focus, if you really take care of yourself, if you really look within the situation, all these things will happen in your life. That depressing state that you're at right now, it's happening for a reason. It's happening to change you and shape you into a person that you need to be, not only for yourself, but for the people that you will meet in the future and the people that you meet that are around you right now. Maybe me personally, what I realized, like when I was going through everything, I was made out to be an example for like the people around me at the time, because I had changed so much that it was like an unbelievable thing. Like, this might sound crazy, but people couldn't believe like the change that I've done to myself. Like I said, I was extremely overweight. I changed all of that, and then just like my living situations and certain things that I was doing in my life, people couldn't believe it because they haven't seen it with their eyes before. So just know, like, when you're going through certain things like this, you are made to be an example for certain people, because certain people, they don't believe in in themselves. So when they see you do something that they've never seen before, they're gonna be like, whoa, like maybe my dreams are possible, or maybe like people like him exist, or it's just certain things. Like, you'll be made out to be an example for other people, and you're gonna inspire other people if you do what you need to do. And that's just how it is. That's how it works. So when you go through your breakthrough, just know you're being created to inspire other people around you who are in a similar situation that you are in now, or people who don't believe that they can become something out of their life. So just know that when you're in that depressive stage, if you really care about yourself, if you really, if you're having any worries about your situation, look within that situation and look how you can learn from it. And just, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go and just focus on rebuilding your new life and rebuilding your new self. And that's gonna be the best thing you can ever do for yourself, because you can't be attached to things that can't serve you anymore. You can't be attached to things that are not worth being in your life anymore. So I just want to drop that knowledge for you guys, man. My name is Keith Bryan. I hope this video helped you in some type of way, man. This is signs that your breakthrough is coming, or signs that your breakthrough is going to change your life. So just be aware of these things and come back to this video after your breakthrough happened. Just to, what I'm saying? I told y'all what y'all was going to go through. You're going to be like, Keith, you was right. All of these things that happened to me. So come back to this video after, that year after your breakthrough has happened in your life, man. Just notice the change that you went through. Notice the change that, that you witnessed yourself, and notice the people that used to be around you. Notice the people that are around you now. Notice what you've done for your life. Notice how people talk about you when they see you, when they see your old self. So just notice certain things about certain, situations that happen in your life, and you're gonna be grateful for everything. So I just want to drop that for y'all, bro. Be safe. don't lose hope, don't lose courage in whatever you want to, you know, be for yourself. So just keep going, keep doing the things that you need to do, and witness greatness. I'm saying.